Hello, so welcome back.
I'm here.
So, welcome back to the film.
Did I fall asleep? Man, it's
Probably.
been a while. It's almost as if it was the next day.
It's really not. It's just later.
Shut
They can tell from the
up.
windows.
It's
And we're wearing the same clothes. Really, it's better that they believe it was straight afterwards.
You're
rather than-
always wearing the same clothes. Come on, let's do this. I'm falling asleep.
Okay, so we're going to start off with some films. A few notes first of all.
No, do TV.
You want to start off with TV?
Yeah, because I don't do any TV, and I'll be back in for the films.
Okay.
Okay.
TV. Sherlock gets an honourable mention.
Yay!
Because that happened this year, believe it or not.
It did. A million years ago.
Yeah.
Great last episode. Great first episode. There was an episode in the middle.
Yeah.
Same as every series.
The Finder. This was a TV show I really enjoyed, but
Never
got
seen.
cancelled, so feels a bit pointless giving it an award. House of Lies. That was pretty good. They've got another season coming up. Nice, weird comedy. Far too many boobs, though. It probably lost its award for its boobs.
What? Why are you getting rid of things awards for boobs?
Because I don't like having boobs in TV.
You sicken me.
Yeah. The Simpsons. It was really good this year. I really
I've
enjoyed
only
it.
seen one episode of Simpsons this year.
You haven't. We've discussed this. You just don't remember the stuff at the beginning of the year.
No. We gave Neil Gaiman an episode of Simpsons for 2011.
Last year, yes. But this year, we've already had Moe's Rag, which was amazing.
Oh, is
And-
that this series?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So they've more than enough to get an honourable mention.
Okay.
Touch. Basically, the guy who made Heroes tried to make a Heroes type thing
With Jack Bauer.
with Jack Bauer.
Never seen it.
It was worthy of a notable mention.
Ooh.
It carried on, but it had no real purpose for everything connecting. So that was just you're just sort of there going, I see, everything's interconnected. Why is it all interconnected? Because I said so. Oh, okay. I kind of feel that, and then particularly the more that went on, you just sort of went, why? But anyway, that happened, so honourable mention. Smash happened. So
messing with your
Smash is a show, a musical show.
I should say I don't really watch a lot of telly, so this bit's just all him.
So Smash is a musical show, obviously trying to slightly jump on the Glee bandwagon.
Glee.
But they
hit
decided
record
to
on this?
improve the matter. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw you put it on those. I didn't see it on this.
But they managed to improve it by putting original songs in. The downside is they went with the blandy musical that I don't like rather than the happy, overly cheesy musical. And also, okay, I just need to ask you this. Why does everyone decided that at the moment musicals have to be about people who make music? Okay? It's a musical about people who make musicals, or it's a...
Well, we're going to
it's
see Book of
there
Mormon in March, so that should change your
Exactly,
mind.
but that's the point. It doesn't have to be. It's like Grease is not a show about people putting on a show, you know. My favourite movies are about sci-fi epics. It's not about people making movies. I'll admit my favourite TV show is about people putting on TV shows. But in general, yes, you can do it once or twice, but at the moment everyone seems to have agreed that musicals have to be about people who say musicals. Musical is where music comes from the fucking nowhere and then fucks off and no one ever questions
If I was a rich man. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
You don't know.
exactly. It's Fiddler on the Roof.
I once actually... Yeah, but you did the wrong do. It's
It was as right as I get.
I once bought a box set of Glee DVDs, and instead of being Glee DVDs, they were blank. Vast improvement.
Fair enough.
I hate Glee.
Glee is not on the
I
list.
don't understand their appeal at all. Are these regionals?
Community is going to be on the list. But that's further down the list when I start wanting to give awards out.
Yay! I
I
have an award.
So Smash was an honourable mention. Bent is an honourable mention.
Oh, I have an honourable mention.
There were
on the
6
award.
episodes of it, so it did not deserve
I
a full
saw
award.
that one!
But it was Amanda
Was that the
Peet.
one that I saw?
Yeah,
No, I
it
like
was
that.
Really
That was
good.
pretty
That was
good.
really, really fun.
That was really good. I quite like that.
Scandal, I kind of liked as
Jesus,
a
where
weird,
are you getting
interesting
these TV
show.
shows from? This
But
is what,
then
this is what you
it
do.
finished off its season. It finished off the first season with basically it said, but he's going to be a great president, therefore he doesn't deserve to be happy. I reject the concept that just because I'm a genius, I'm doomed to a life of misery.
You are.
I
See,
am,
us smart
but,
guys.
But that was.
I got
generally the
900
concept.
supermodels just waiting for me back there.
So I
All of
I
them
really
with ice
didn't
cream
like
sundaes.
it, and for that alone, and I didn't like season 2 very much. Though I do like the fact that America has there've been so little stuff on the number of season 2s they've had inside where something has started on season 1 and has now started season 2 or finished season 2 in the same year.
Yep.
Is quite interesting.
And annoying.
You're starting to see here just how much stuff I'm getting through in honourable mentions and how few awards there's going to
I
be.
have an honourable mention.
Okay.
Boardwalk Empire!
Yay!
It only gets an honourable mention because as much as it's an utterly fantastic drama and wonderfulness and really quite disturbing in places and yet brilliant, it has Margaret in it still, and she has a plot that is just... I don't they introduce plots for Margaret and they go literally they go nowhere and they never tie in with anything and she just sort of floats away on her own and then it may come back at the end for like a tiny little thing that they just ignore anyway. It's a really annoying character and she gets a lot of screen time and they completely by the end of the last episode they actually ignored a character that they were setting up stuff for. They were like, and Van Orden was there too and never mentioned what he actually did in the last episode because they set him up in like a really good bit for the going up to the last episode and then he never appears in the last episode. I'm sure he's fine.
Great.
Yeah, but they killed off like 90% of the cast again, so it'll be good next year. That's an honourable mention. It doesn't deserve an award.
Yeah.
Because of Margaret.
Now, because we're geeks.
Kill Margaret off, you get an award.
A few shows for geeks which we didn't really like, but I felt they should go in there. Arrow. They created a superhero program. We should probably mention that it exists.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was okay. It felt a bit too much like Batman, which annoyed me even more when I found out that Arrow is in fact Green Arrow, which then kind of felt, well, if you're not going to create your own guy and just copy someone else's, why not at least
Who the hell is
cash
Green
in?
Arrow? I thought it was Green Lantern or something.
They have a Green Arrow and a Green Lantern.
Oh.
DC Universe. It's like Marvel
Ecologically
shit.
friendly.
Such
a green universe.
Basically, it was just... It had something going for it, it just didn't have anywhere near enough. It got so repetitive so quickly. I'm going to shoot things, and it didn't have enough mystery to keep me going. Oh, the only thing that I have started to find interesting is pretty much it seems to be anyone who is in Doctor Who appears in it is a bad guy.
Okay.
If you're British and
British people, bad guys in American things?
I know.
No way.
But John Barrowman's a bad guy in it. He seems to be the head bad guy, and then Mr. Moon is in it.
Okay.
Not only
Moon,
sorry, Dr. Moon. Yeah, it does seem to be also characters written by
Stephen
Moffat as well. But yeah, it deserves an honourable mention. I really don't. I have no passionate hatred towards it. It was just sort of a
there.
Yeah. It's no Lois and Clark. And it's certainly no Heroes.
Good lord, that's a list.
Yeah, but we're halfway through the TV part. Revolution, that happened, and it has now annoyed me sufficiently that I've given up on it. They've created a blanket rule that electricity doesn't work, but apparently combustion engines don't work, despite the fact that fire clearly does work. And there's just a whole load of bits where they're going, I'm not really sure you've understood how that works. You know, like within 13 years, there's suddenly... giant pieces of tarmac turn into a green field. Yeah, they're going, unless you actually break up the tarmac, nature takes a lot longer than that to break through.
Yep.
Tarmac, pretty much, think of the last time you did something with a piece of tarmac out the front and how much greenery is growing through
The amount of time I've done stuff with tarmac. Yeah.
I don't know what you have to do, renew it, or, Exactly, what do you do with tarmac?
I don't know, this is boring. Talk about TV.
Don't Trust the Bridge in Apartment 23. Yeah, it's not bad. It actually had a really nice
Apartment
opening.
23. What did you call me? Is it really what that's what's called?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Even worse, it's not actually...
How did you spell 4 words wrong in that sentence? That's impressive.
That's skill. Veep.
Veep?
Yeah.
You're making these up.
Veep, well, it's Vice President.
Oh, Vup.
Yeah, and...
It's like Veep.
I'll tell you what. There's an awful lot of credit given here in that, although I'm not a huge fan of In the Thick of It, when they said we're going to remake In the Thick of It for America, I went, wow, you are never going to be able to pull that off. And they did an amazing job of making it as good as In the Thick of It. Unfortunately, I wouldn't give it In the Thick of It more than an honourable mention either. But for them trying to reproduce and match a British comedy, and it does have a very British styling. They didn't, ham it all up and have a guest star every week and put a studio audience in, which they do with so many of our stuff. They just reproduced it in a very authentic way and yet still a very American way. So I felt it was a very good job of that. Cool. But I wasn't a huge fan of that style of show.
Top Gear US was pretty good this year. Top Gear US has become better than Top Gear UK. I know.
Well, Top Gear UK isn't on my list, so if you want to give it an honourable mention, feel free.
I do. They do some really... They've completely ditched the idea that they're anything apart from a dicking around with cars show. Like, because our Top Gear sort of still clings on to that idea that anybody watching it gives a shit about cars. But with the US one, every single week they go off on adventures. They get 3 cars of really cheap or whatever, and then go off and do stupid things with them. And that's just what I want from Top Gear. So it's like a really good Top Gear for me. Plus now we're about 3 or 4 series in. Probably 2 actually, but we were a few seasons in, so we're actually getting some character. They're actually fusing together. We're getting some characters and stuff, so they're becoming it's watchable. It's becoming watchable. So
Yay!
Yes, that's there. It can have a mention.
Sticking with our theme of British shows that went over to US, the In Between is USA
Cancelled.
is worthy of a honourable mention. I don't care. I'm still going to bring it up. They started off just copying the English episodes. It really failed then. I was there going, I'm going to give up with this. This isn't as good as what we had. And then they started writing their own scripts, and it worked pretty well. I was like, this is becoming one of the better things on TV. That's interesting.
Tron, have you got Tron on your list?
Yes.
Tron.
Yes, I do.
Tron's pretty damn good. Although I've only watched like 3 or 4 episodes of it.
Yeah.
I should catch up.
Perception is next on my list.
Never heard of it.
Perception was a show about a guy with schizophrenia, and he tries to solve crimes, but he spends most of the episodes basically trying to work out what's real evidence and what just appeared in his head, which is a really nice twist on these shows.
Didn't Batman use that as a plot device?
Possibly.
He
but
gained major plot
week.
points from his own subconscious.
Oh, yes. Well, that's a whole catastrophe for the film section.
Spoilers, we didn't like Batman.
I really liked Perception, so that's getting an honourable mention.
Yay!
Now some things you've actually seen, and so we'll have opinions on.
Hey!
Red Dwarf.
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot Red Dwarf was this year. I really liked it.
I think it certainly deserves an honourable mention. I thought it was pretty good.
I think it deserves an award.
Oh, what do you think? What award would you award it?
Probably the best comeback. I've not seen something come back with that strong. I mean, because I watched, what else came out? We had the new Ab Fab this year, which was awful. Or was that last year? I think there might have been a Christmas special last year. Oh no, there's like an Olympics episode as well. That was awful. And I do quite like Ab Fab. Oh, it was okay. It's not awful. I keep saying awful.
Coming back with the old cast and in continuity, I will give you that award.
Yay! Because it was. I mean, it's got one of my favourite ever Red Dwarf moments. It actually had classic Red Dwarf moments, as opposed to just being an echo of the past.
I still don't think it's as good as the first few seasons, which was its best, but certainly it was as good as when it just started to dip.
Yeah.
It's generally with these sorts of things, you're normally expecting it to be way worse than it ever was.
Yeah, definitely that's what you sort of get. Because you sort of expect loads of back references and loads of that sort of thing, and just fan wank is what it generally turns into, just fan wank. But this generally had some classic Red Dwarf moments and didn't rely too much on its own past. A special fantastic moment was the arguing with himself, who'd re-recorded acting as his dad, and he was actually his son.
Oh, that was wonderful.
God, that was brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay.
Yeah, more things.
Next one, really controversial one between the two of us, because I'm going to fight tooth and nail to keep it as an honourable mention. The Newsroom. Okay, Aaron Sorkin set out to make something as a piece of Aaron Sorkin. It's quite good, but that's the only thing it's really got going for it. Everything else about it is just... He made a giant flaw. So it's a show about the news and about the way that the press are going about things, and he wanted to make these comments, and because he wanted to make those comments so much, he sacrificed all the rest of the plot and did things like, I'm going to build it around real events, so he could then really pick at people and go, look what you did during this event, this is how you should have done it. Now that was really nice and really good for going, hey, look how crap this is, or let's really pick at these real people. So that was all really great, but it meant that the episodes went by real events, which meant you just skip huge parts of people's lives and then expected to care about them.
Yep.
You know, you pretty much got an origins journey of, okay, it's now 5 weeks later. What? No, that 5 weeks was important for my character growth. Oh, this is my first time on air on this show. What? I've now been here for a year? It covers a year and a half in, 7 episodes?
I
think it was 10 episodes.
A few.
So it's half the length of a
But
normal
the characters
TV
are written like
series.
it's been just 7 episodes
Yes.
that are quite close to each other, which is why it's awful.
Yeah,
and it
this
should
is
get
the
the
real
worst
problem with it.
award. It was the worst thing I saw on TV this year
See,
by a long way.
See, I feel that it's still a great script, and for
no,
what he's trying...
it wasn't a great script. It wasn't a great
It's a
script.
great script for great lines.
It had, of course, it is Aaron Sorkin,
It's
but it has
awful,
it's
awful
2 parts.
characters.
It's like interesting news-related stuff, but 80% of it was a 3-way relationship thing that I couldn't give a shit about, and characters I couldn't give a shit about because we had no development of it. It's awful. You're not allowed to like it. No, it's not getting an honorable mention. I will quit if you don't give it an award for the worst Aaron Sorkin show ever made.
Well, it is the worst
Hey,
show.
Right, compare it to Studio 60.
I will give you that on the condition that it is a positive award and not a negative
because
award.
it's a negative. I wouldn't recommend that show to anyone. Who's it for? If you kind of like relationship dramas that are really terribly written.
No,
If
see,
you're a fan
this
of
is...
50 Shades of Grey, go for it. You'll love it.
Okay, this is the thing, right?
A
Because
liberal fan of 50 Shades of Grey.
this is the thing, right? Is that as a drama, and the way that these things are supposed to work, and how like West Wing works, is it gets to talk about politics, but it tricks you into talking about politics by having a really great show that you want to go and see. This struggles from the fact that the show, the characters and the storytelling just really falls to pieces after a few episodes.
Yeah.
And
ratio
so
was
because of that, it really, any time it dedicates to its characters is wasted time.
The ratio was off. It's normally West Wing was like 80% political shit, 20% character. This went 80% characters who I hated all of, and 20% relationship stuff.
Yeah. So I do
news
agree
stuff.
that if really to have made this a good show, they need to have set it in a fictitious world, like they sort of did with Studio 60, where it's
Or
not
set it
really
in our
Friday
world,
Night Lights.
but just sort of start off with one thing and then follow it on with the weeks of how stuff
or
goes.
in this world, in our world, and just ignore the characters to a lot higher degree.
God, that
just
would have
have
been much
longer,
better. I would have loved
longer
that
run
show.
storylines.
But it wasn't that.
So
It was a character piece.
There are major things that need to have been done to have fixed it, but I still think that what he was trying to do should be commended. Though I will agree there's no way I'm giving it an award next year because this is not a show that him making the same mistakes a second year out running is gonna...
He fired his entire writing staff,
I know.
not including himself. He should have fired himself. And his entire writing staff. And then cancelled the show, realising it was awful. Because it was.
It did require major fixing.
Yes, you're right. We can give it a negative award.
No! It still deserves an award for its attempt at saying important things about the press.
That's like watching someone do a high jump and they just fall over before they got to it and going, well, you tried. Well done. You tried to do the high jump.
But it is like that if someone attempts to do something that no one else is trying to do in a world where you say everyone needs to be trying to do these things, and someone tries to do it and fails. It's a lot more important. It's a bit like saying, let's give an award for a scientist
you don't get
for
awards
doing
for
something,
trying.
for trying to do an
You don't get awards for
experiment.
trying because otherwise Doctor Who The Eternity Clock would have got an award.
I tried to give it an award for
It
trying.
doesn't deserve an award. It failed. You could try and you could fail. Well done. You tried. Well done. You tried to do your thing, but you failed. You know what? You can have. He got 20% of what he did right. 20 out of 100. That's all. I wouldn't give Medal of Honor a score that low.
I still think that what he's trying to do and the effort that went into that, and I think they're important messages, and I personally feel like
If only he
I've
hadn't
learned
layered them
more
under
about
the
things.
worst characters I've seen in TV for ages.
Yeah. I think he may have made that show for YouTube just so people can cut out the political speeches and play it and get rid of the rest of it. In fact, actually, that would be a show that would greatly be helped by being turned into a web series.
It'd be a show, without
Despite
any of the
the fact-
relationship stuff. Just
Despite the fact it was every episode, it takes forever.
See, but we know he can do it because with Studio 60, he wrote interesting characters and interesting stuff
God, I
about how
love that
TV
show.
networks work. And it was
that's
a
so
50-50
perfect.
balance. He actually went for a 50-50 balance. So it was more approachable than The West Wing, which is quite difficult and tricky to get into. You do actually need to do some homework every now and then. But it was proper solid, and it was fantastic, and it merged fantastically. And this was just arse. And you're only there because he's the guy who made your favourite TV show. Please give him an award. No, because if we get an award, this is the quality he's going to stick at. We should give him a negative award so he bites...
Well, I didn't
I'll
give
tell
him
you
an
what, I will
award.
let you
I was
give
giving him
Studio
an
60.
honourable mention,
Not
not
even a
an
mention,
award.
because that means that people should watch it. It should get a negative award, but we give Studio 60 a positive award, so he goes and does more of that.
Okay,
we can break the TV rules.
Can we go with the same rule that we did with before, where I can give it an honourable mention and you can give it a dishonourable
No.
mention and it cancels it out?
No, I'm giving it a negative award. The best we can give this is a dishonourable mention.
And it doesn't deserve a dishonourable mention
Would
because
you
it's got
recommend
something.
that people watch all of it?
I would rather watch... if I had to sit through something, I would rather watch through that again than, I don't know, Game of Thrones or...
I never watched Game of Thrones. It's not my
No,
cup of
but
tea
it's
at all.
roughly the same length, and it's just people sitting there doing nothing and things that
No!
I don't care about,
We
and
know what Game
no
of
politics
Thrones
in
is.
it.
Dwarves and fucking. That's all
Dwarves
it
and
is.
fucking.
God, that would have been so much
Just
better
to
with
have
some dwarves
the
and
only
fucking.
HBO show without masses of tits.
It was news and boring. That's what it was. Dwarves
It was
and fucking
news-
versus
it
news
was,
and boring.
it was
You're
news and
making me
boring.
want to give Game of Thrones something.
No!
Just for its existence compared to the newsroom.
Fine, I'm fed up with this discussion. Let's move on. You
Just
can have
honourable
your
mention.
dishonourable mention.
Yay! I am the winner. You're going to cripple me with Community now, aren't you?
Continuum. is
Never
the
saw it.
next
Oh,
one.
good. Something I've not seen. I can shut up.
I'm
You
half-
should never have shown me Newsroom. You would have got away with it.
I'm half tempted by Continuum to give it an award for best sci-fi because it was very nearly
Because you
really
forgot Tron
good.
existed.
Well, it's the best sci-fi of this year,
Tron.
but well, this one actually plays more with sci-fi concepts and being
Oh, Tron is just a
and because
cartoon.
it's a time traveling, half Terminatory, half
Oh, I know what you're
thrillery,
on about. Oh, yeah.
interesting
Why did
Canadian
I watch that? I was
sci-fi.
going to watch that.
But I always felt it had a little bit more promise than it did follow through.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still at that point where I feel that next season could still be at a point where it might win an award, but also could be something that I completely forget and give up on.
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones where there's lots of promise and it keeps going, oh, we're going to touch on this subject. And I go, oh, that's going to be interesting. And I never quite felt it had the follow through. So it gets an honourable mention.
And I'm not going to argue it.
Cool.
Because I've not seen it.
Doctor Who.
Woohoo! Gets an award
For what?
for Best Companion Exit.
No. Because I thought you were going to say best companion entrance, and I would give you...
Oh, and Best Companion Entrance. Christmas Day, yeah.
I definitely prefer... the Christmas episode was
Best Companion
wonderful.
Spinning Door, as one goes out
Yes.
on Tessin.
Yeah.
It can win an award for
Best
companion.
TARDIS entrance.
Best Western, sci-fi Western we've had for a while. Oh, the Guns.
I didn't like that episode.
Oh, it was a
majorly.
great episode. It was actually quite a good series. It was only like 6 episodes long.
I see. This was the thing. It was 6 episodes, and I
English
wasn't a
TV.
huge fan.
And Chris
of
Chibnall
anything.
wrote 2 of them.
Yeah, there
Chris
wasn't
Chibnall
much
deserves an
that I
award
really
for
went
writing
through.
half a competent episode.
Yeah, but we don't give him that award for the same reason we wouldn't give.
But he would lose points for the awful dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Yeah.
Silent of the Daleks was pretty good. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship was awful. Western one was pretty good. Cubed was like 80% brilliant.
I really
and
loved
then the last
Cubed,
20%
and then,
tripped
yeah.
over and smashed itself in the face. And then Angels in Manhattan was pretty okay. It wasn't
Yeah.
great.
I felt there was
Kind
an
of
awful
okay.
lot of okayness, and
Good
normally
ending. Good ending. I like the
normally
way they
when
got rid of the
something's been
puns.
running for this amount of time, if it doesn't have something amazing, I just don't even mention
Well, the
it.
Christmas special was the amazing episode.
So yeah, Christmas special is. See, I kind of want to give it best episode, but then there was an awful lot of really good episodes this year.
It wasn't the best episode of Senkai Soul this year.
So
It's not getting that. It can have best Christmas special.
best new companion,
Best-
best new companion.
Well, we've
best
only had one
reinvention.
episode with her. And well, she's been in 2 episodes.
She's been in 2 episodes already. Best new companion. Did any other of your shows have a new companion that was better? No, best new companion.
All right, yeah, but no, I want best Christmas as well. Best festive episode because it was my highlight. of
Okay,
Christmas.
I'll give you best festive
Was
episode.
it my highlight of Christmas? What else was on Christmas time? Are there any good specials on Christmas? I don't remember much. There
Okay.
was a new Outnumbered that was okay. I don't remember anything else. Oh, there was. Did you watch Big Fat Quiz of the Year.
No, I missed it this year.
God, it's funny. Oh, it's one of the best. It's
I
really
love them
good.
most years.
We'll watch it tonight. Watch it after this.
Cool.
It's so good.
Okay. 2 animations now.
Ooh.
Thundercats is winning an award for Give It a Fucking Second Season.
You know what? You can have this award. You like that show far too much.
Tron Uprising
That was great.
wins Best New Animation.
Wins. Put it on a time that isn't midnight on a channel no one's heard of.
Okay. Now we've gone through those.
Wait. Oh yeah. Okay. Now awards. Yeah.
Okay. I basically have 4 things that I'd like to give awards to. And the first one I feel you might fight me on.
Okay.
I'd like to give Raising Hope the best you should have ended there. Why are you still making it award? Raising Hope had the perfect ending.
Series 2, yeah. The end of
17
series 2.
episodes through season 2.
Yep.
And then just carried on. And you're like, no. You wrapped everything up perfectly.
I know, but that's when I stopped watching.
That was
I went,
a
that's
perfect
done.
episode, and it really hasn't gone uphill afterwards. So
I stopped watching it there. So I was like, that's a great ending.
I would like to give an award for best ending
that wasn't an ending.
that wasn't an ending.
Works for me. I'll
Okay.
actually give you that one. Yeah, because I agree. Because that's where I stopped watching. I went, oh, that's all I wanted from this show. I'll stop
Great.
watching it now.
Best new comedy I'd like to give to Go On, which I thought was very good.
Oh, I stopped watching
I'm really
that.
enjoying
I
Going
stopped
On.
watching that.
Yeah,
I
but did you
kind of
start
liked
watching anything else?
No.
Was there any other new comedies? That
It's
you
like
were
I started
excited
watching
with?
New Girl this year. I was like, oh, shut up. I hate this.
Yeah, not even on my list. Didn't even get an honourable
Even being
mention.
mentioned. No, it was. Go On was okay. It was quite funny in parts, but I just sort of it took effort to watch. Effort I didn't want to put in. What's your next things on the list?
Okay,
I mean, was it the best new comedy? What else other comedies do we have this year?
I literally have just listed all of them.
What have I watched this year? I haven't watched anything.
I
watched a
really
lot of
liked it.
YouTube
I thought it had a
videos.
really nice thing. My last 2 awards, so the 2 things that I was conflicted as to what would win best TV show, Double Fine Amnesia Fortnight documentary, which was amazing.
And still is. Sounds finished.
And yeah, that
Not
was
really
well
a
worth
TV
everything
series,
I paid
though.
for it. I don't care. It was better than
Well,
most of the
we need to
TV I
do-
watched.
That's why I've been watching.
It was
YouTube.
so much better
Well,
than
before we
most
finish
of the
this
TV I
off, let's
watched.
do some YouTube awards and things. I think we should do some
Okay.
YouTube things because we don't have a section for YouTube, do we?
Not really.
So we'll do some YouTube awards. There are
I
genuine
haven't
people,
planned
brilliant
for
people.
this. You can't do this. Just bring this on me. What
Okay,
if I
well there are
forget
brilliant
someone?
people. Like Zay Frank I discovered Zay Frank this year, and he is like just the funniest, most fantastic,
very
superb
impressive. Very
person
good.
of all time. Well, who else do I love?
Are we only including people we discovered this year then? So existing
No,
people
just who've
aren't
done
allowed.
well this year.
Who've done well this year?
Yeah, like Wheezy Waiter, I've been really getting into watching all of Wheezy Waiter, everything he does, especially his daily vlogs and things. They're really quite interesting and fun.
I've just got the same people I watch over and over again.
For a dishonorable mention, I've stopped watching Freddie W. I mean, he had some really good
Yeah.
stuff, but I don't like the Video Game High School. I didn't
Video Game
like
High
Video
School
Game High
really
School at all.
sucked, and then it just kind of killed off his channel. 'cause
It took
didn't-
all of the channel
Yeah.
for far too much time,
months and months.
and it wasn't something I wanted to watch, so it sort of like get off. But then he came
The
back
thing
with
that
like,
I really didn't
some
like
good
about
stuff.
Video Game High School, because I don't think I ever ranted about this properly.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, it's a rant. I'll sit down.
Video Game High School had the problem where
What simulator?
What-
Rant.
what I really liked about
Wear hat.
Freddie W videos is that he's very good at special effects.
Yep.
And perhaps not so great at writing and acting.
Oh yeah. No,
So then when he said, we're getting in writers and actors, I thought, great. What we can do now is have him just focus on the special effects.
Yep.
So I was expecting special effects to go up a little bit. And then I was expecting all of the writing and the performance to go up massively.
Yep.
But they decided to stick with their type of comedy, which is sort of barely funny. So they stuck with this. Let's not be very funny.
They're a very light humor, is what it is.
It's very
supposed to
light
be,
humour,
It's what I do.
yeah.
It's the big grand special effects with a very light undertone joke that makes it funnier because it's contrasted against the
They
big
put all of their
explosions.
money basically into having practical effects rather than
Yeah.
special effects. And you know what? I don't care. I'm just
to be
there going,
honest-
you spent huge amounts of money of having a real explosion rather than just CG green screening it in. I'm fine with the green screened explosion. I'm sorry if I'm some special effects heathen, but if you'd have put more money into the shooting of it, and the worst thing is they like that. Even the behind the scenes, they're going, do you want to know the trick? We just, film it in one go and do it as quickly as possible. You're like, yes, that's where all the lighting and quality and skill goes in. So I felt that they had the potential to make something really great, and I do think that their team is capable of something truly great. I just didn't feel that this was it, and I felt that they basically put all of their money where it shouldn't have gone, whereas I felt they should have put all of their money into making their weaknesses really good, because I felt their good bits are already so good. They didn't need to push that up very much.
Well, if you think about what Freddie W is good at, and then think of what would Freddie W make a great series of, High School Drama wasn't on top of my list.
I'll give you that.
Of things I would like Freddie W to do.
I agree.
It's sort of... So, yeah, he did, that his channel sort of died.
And this will come out in time for his second Kickstarter for Season 2.
Yeah.
He's made a few smart decisions for Season 2, but not enough for me to care.
Well, Season 2 of this thing I don't want.
He's decided he wants longer episodes rather than shorter ones, which means that he can spend more time and less, let's go for the cheapest laugh, and less... There was very much a what's the special effect of the week with the last season, which I sort of hope that's going to get past. And I'm hoping they've killed off the law, because he was just such an annoying dickhead.
Didn't get through the first episode.
And
couldn't stand the terrible acting.
Yeah.
It was I was just thinking, I'm not going to put up with this. I mean, he came back and did a few... Since he's done that, there's been about 4 videos.
There's been a few videos, but not enough.
Yeah.
So
I do
overall,
little weekly videos. That's what I love that channel for.
What he did best... he stopped doing, and that was annoying.
So
and he's still capable of doing it. I still believe that Freddie W can have a comeback. This isn't I've unsubscribed and never will ever do anything with him. It was just I've stopped clicking on his videos.
Yeah.
And I still have the hope that I will come back to looking forward to them. But no, at the moment they're just, bottom of the pile.
Yep. What else? Who else we liked? Hannah Hart did well this year.
Yes.
She just started her Indiegogo and instantly completed it.
Yeah.
It was only a few days in, but instantly completed it within seconds. I was thinking, But she does loads of charity work and stuff. So do Epic Mealtime, something I found out they do loads of helping out in charity work and stuff. So go YouTubers. If I had any free time, I probably wouldn't do any charity work. Fuck everyone else. I like me.
I've been trying to get more into the YouTube community. But
we're doing a few things. Dan Ball, we did our theme tune and awesome raps and stuff. Oh man, YouTube was quite fun this year. But so we should give an award for the best YouTuber.
Yep.
Obviously, me.
Oh, okay.
I'm the best YouTuber of the year. I'm going to put my case here forwards. I started the year with 4,000 subscribers, ended it with over 300,000. I think I did pretty well.
Okay, that's pretty hard to disagree with. Do I get an award?
No.
Oh.
You get best tagger alonger. Best new companion. He got to fight General Louie. Now you have to think now, is it you or Oswin? Who's the better companion?
It's Oswin.
Vote now. It is, isn't it? You don't even get that. I'm sorry.
See, we should have ended this on that. No, we've got to carry on.
We've got to carry on. Doesn't matter.
Best TV show.
Best TV show, obviously.
Hang on. I on YouTube, I'm still gonna put in
YouTube?
people I like.
Okay.
I still like Mickey Kitty and Nana Lou, and they've been doing
Mickey
some
Kitty,
fun
if
things.
you're watching this, come play with us.
Yay!
Specifically him. Make a
That just sounds
video with
creepy
him. I meant like make a video with him. Unless you want to like dress him up and shrink him down and then play things.
She's been going steampunky. That's been fun.
And me and you will team up against him.
We'll do fun bits. We're going to do that soon. Maybe that's spoilers. I don't know.
Spoilers! La 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 la.
Best show of the best TV show of 2012 is obviously Community.
Yay!
There is no way we can deny it, because quite frankly they had about 4 or 5 of the best episodes they've ever done, all at the beginning of this year. Also,
and there were only like a few episodes this
also because Dan Harmon needs to have some good news this year.
We'll love Dan
after
Harmon.
making such a mistake. And it needs to win Best New Show of this year, so we can really rip into it next year when
it was also best episode for the 8-bit episode.
8-bit. But also I felt even the wedding episode was good this year. The whole episode in the Imaginarium.
Dreamatorium.
Dreamatorium.
Every time.
Also the episode where they try and convince them that they've all been insane and living inside a dream. You just they're going, okay.
Stop letting him.
I've
what was
listed episode after episode of it being great.
Stop letting him make you realize things.
Yes.
That was it. That's a hard line to say. Yeah.
You snuck up while you're all remembering that.
Yeah, there was a lot. It got a bit weirder.
So much. Oh, it was wonderful. It really let go of that pretense that it wasn't just a show for geeks.
Yeah.
I think I think it has always been a show for geeks.
No,
but
it's
always
now a show for
slightly
community
pretended,
fans.
Yeah.
It's a show for community fans.
And it really worked for me. And for
You
those
don't
of
really-
you who
you didn't
know,
like it
for
very
those of you
much.
who know, Dan is a huge community fan, and I've always been sort of slightly against it, partially based on the fact that their characters aren't as secure as I'd like.
Yeah.
They do have a fluctuating tendency, and they do have lots of good one-off episodes, but I feel that overall as a show it lacks. Whereas it had so many good one-off episodes back to back,
was pretty damn good.
there's no way you can claim that the,
So you know what
the
that means?
episodes it had this year doesn't
We
make
are
it win.
awarding this to community.
Yeah.
I was going to chang that up a bit. I did too. Right, what's next? Film.
Gay.
What'd you call me? You fucking call me. People keep emailing me and telling me Jesus wasn't gay. That's something I've been getting a lot of recently.
Really?
Well, in one of my videos, my dad said he was as a joke, and now he's going,
did
"Stop
kiss
offending
Judas.
Jesus." I know, right?
He kissed Judas.
I know, right?
And there's no
yeah.
reference of him having a wife, which in those days was very common. They would have an excuse for why he didn't have a wife, if for it not
And
being to
he
be in
did
the Bible.
hang around with 12 guys.
He also hung out with an awful lot of prostitutes and tax
Who
collectors.
doesn't? Who doesn't?
Who hangs out with all of the prostitutes and not sleep with them? Gay men.
Jesus.
And Jesus.
Please don't email me. Email him. What at nerd3.co.uk.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
I don't get many emails from that.
I
at
get
the moment.
so many emails based on what other people say on my channel and what I say. But yeah. What have we got
Okay,
now?
films.
Please be
starts
your
off
list.
with a small disclaimer.
Uh-huh.
The following movies we either didn't see, so will not be included, or various things. So we haven't seen The Hobbit just because we had other things to do.
Yeah, like I had some paint to watch dry.
Looper, I feel actually might be worth watching.
Yep, but it's not on
but
DVD yet.
just didn't
I will
happen.
say this now. I haven't actually been to the cinema this year. I don't like the cinema. I just watch
Okay.
things on Blu-ray because it's cheaper. And it comes out now like 4
Okay.
months later, so there's no real
Although
rush for
The
it.
Muppets did come out this year, we have discounted it because we gave it awards last year when it came out in America.
You gave it awards last year. I only saw it this year.
Well, no, last year we gave it an award for best campaign
You gave
because
it-
of the
oh, yes.
trailers.
Oh, did we? I don't
Yes.
remember. I don't. You watch this shit back?
No, I don't. I just remember these things. So because we gave it an award for having such good
Wait,
trailers
was that
last
just
year.
a podcast on our channel, on our website?
Yeah.
Oh, that died in the hard drive crash.
Probably.
We've lost those now. Oh, that's sad.
So
If those are
basically,
opinions.
Disney's not getting an award for Muppets because we're being vindictive. But Cloud Atlas and Wreck-It Ralph are only out in America, and I will probably award. I'm not going to criticize them quite as strongly because I feel they both have the potential to be such great movies.
Yep.
That I will actually let them be entered next year.
What's
but in case you're there going, why has he not mentioned these things? That is why, because they hate England. They hate me
They're
just
racist.
because of where
Disney
I
are
live.
racist. Disney are racist.
And I will not
Disney are
stand
racist.
for this.
Disney
but
are
we
racist.
can't give them an award otherwise. I mean, basically, I could give them awards. They could get the credit that these movies deserve if I was a pirate. You're driving me to this. I'm this close.
What was that?
Anyway,
The penis size.
for movies I care much less about, meaning the ones that came out this year,
Is this a bit scripted?
Dark Knight Rises.
No, see
That was
that's a film-
rubbish.
That's Dark Knight Rises. I want to give so many negative awards to it. Cancels this year out. He'd seen Dark
It
Knight
can
Rises
only have
before.
up to one.
I'd say Dark Knight Rises is because he saw it first and then I watched it with him, and I was telling him the plot way before it happened.
About 10 minutes
17
into...
minutes.
Sorry, 17
17
minutes into a 3-hour movie.
They tell you the ending.
They tell you
in
the
most
ending.
obvious way. They physically show it to you is the thing that got me. They're like, oh yeah, this camera angle, this is the last thing you're going to see in this film.
And then on top of that, particularly,
So awful.
it's a 3-hour movie, and you can tell this whole plot line without skipping anything
It felt like
in 20 minutes. You're
Yep.
just there going... I mean, it's like you spend an hour and a half just giving backstory to a bomb, which is only a bomb for plot reasons. It could just be a nuclear weapon with a new system which you can't
What I
hack.
love-
And that's all you need for that to be a bomb. And yet there's hours and hours of let's put plot in here.
But
You're
the
like,
guy-
why? And you're like, oh, I don't give a shit.
The nuclear physicist guy goes up to a nuclear reactor and turns it into a bomb in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, this is now a bomb, and no one else can
we've put-
reverse that.
yeah.
No one can reverse that, apart from the following people who actually do reverse it and work out a way of reversing it. Because that's what happened. They actually work out a way of reversing it, and he makes a big deal of this as the only person who could have reversed this or fixed this, and then like Lucius Fox or someone does. Is that his name? I can't remember. What's his face? Is it Lucius Fox? Is
Yeah.
that his name in this? I don't remember. I couldn't
It was
care.
stabilizing rather than disarming it. Was what they
Yeah,
were claiming
but it
to
was
do.
a nuclear reactor in the first place.
But
They
you
were
were
just turning it back
you were
into a
just
nuclear
there
reactor.
going,
Continuity was great in that film.
Continuity was god awful in that movie. I mean,
My favorite bit
I
was
will give you.
the bank job.
Okay, the things
The
that
bank,
work.
they walk into a right. Let's do this. They walk into Wall Street, okay,
Yeah.
which only has 3 security guards on desk, and
Apparently.
no other warnings. They just walked through
yeah,
that.
that was something that annoyed me. It's Wall Street. There's no question that this is the Gotham Bank.
Yeah.
It's fucking Wall Street. This movie did not happen in Gotham. It happened in New York. And that just pissed me off because in Batman Begins, he created a Gotham I cared about. I half hate... most of the reason I hate the second movie is because he destroyed what I liked about the first one. This wasn't even a generic area. This was New York. It was just so New York. It's untrue.
Yeah. But no, right. So the Wall Street. This is the continuity of the Wall Street bit. They go in. There's 3 security guards on this Wall Street bit, and then they go in and they if you spoilers, who cares? You don't want to see this film. They get
Spoilers. It's a waste of your life.
they get no. I was going to say Clark Kent, not Clark Kent.
Batman. Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne. Jesus Christ. They get Bruce Wayne's thumbprint and scan in a thing. They've got guns and they shoot lots of people, and then like they scan it. They steal all his money, basically.
Yeah.
They trade all his stocks or some bullshit, which is allowed to stand for reasons of who the fuck knows. And so then all the police are outside. Instantly, this
Let's
is the
be
bright
honest,
day.
I don't want another 2 hours out of deleted scenes telling us exactly why it decided to stand.
So then you've got 2. It's bright day, and then so all the police are like, "Oh, we're freeze, we're waiting outside," and everything gets locked up, whatever. And then they come out on motorbikes.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did those
Came out of
motorbikes
nowhere.
come from? Motorbikes just spawned out of nowhere. I'm surprised that didn't get an hour of explanation. And then they drive under a tunnel, and they come out of the tunnel. It's suddenly nighttime. It literally goes from like bright sunshiny morning to nighttime within like
I mean,
the space of
it's
a tunnel. Oh, and
basi-
in that tunnel, Batman has his gun of whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
he gets
has
out
a gun
and some
that makes
spark and
no
stuff.
sense. No,
He
you're there
gets
going,
shot.
oh, you've got a gadget you haven't introduced, which bearing in mind they have so much time in this movie to introduce everything. You're like, oh, you've got a gun, new gadget you haven't introduced. That looks cool. What does that do? Oh, I don't know. It's broken.
It gets shot.
What was the
But he
point?
sort of like points his gun, and then there's some sparks around a motorbike, and then it gets shot, and it's like, what was that? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the-
And then he gets everyone to chase him, screws up everything. It's just,
New Robin, spoilers.
New Robin was the only thing that
No,
was good with
but
that
New
movie.
Robin recognised who Batman was from a look on his face.
Oh, yeah.
Why are we allowing
Yeah.
this to... And I've seen loads of people argue that this film's really like, oh, it's story focused. The story was awful.
Oh, the story's awful.
And the best thing, I loved when it ended.
I think the only thing that's good about this movie
Was how
is
bad it was. It was
starts to
enjoyably bad.
pose questions that it never answers. So,
Yeah.
for example, I mean, you could talk at hours and hours overanalyzing this movie, but the problem is that you have to overanalyze it. It's not literally there. It's things like the police chase down Batman rather than the people who are stealing money from the bank through the stocks. Now, is this a representation of the fact that we live in a society where bankers steal money from us and abuse power, and instead, rather than the press, rather than reporting on the financial crisis, is focusing on celebrities and what's going on? I mean, that's a really nice, interesting statement. But I'm really searching to put that message in there, because he does slightly start on it, and all the way through, there's should we be putting effort into should we put money into science without questioning it if they can be used for negative purposes? But he never goes further than saying, "Oh, here's a question. I could make a movie about this." I'm not going to. I'm just going to go off and ask the next question without answering it either. So it's sort of got
remembering
that
bits
there,
of this movie.
but then
I'm
you're
remembering
just
bits of it.
Oh.
Bane's secret plan. I'm going to put all the police in the sewers. All the police.
Also, because I've decided I don't care anymore, and if you haven't watched this movie, we're doing you a favour. The big twist is that the person at the end who they go, you thought that was Bane, but it was someone else. Do you know why we think it's Bane? Because I watched it the second time, finding this. Because Alfred tells us, Alfred having this news out of nowhere says, it's Bane. I checked. He doesn't say someone crawls out. He says, it's Bane.
Bane crawls out.
Bane is the only person. It's only Bane. Why did we not question it? Because apparently if we told facts and we just randomly questioned them, what sort of world are we living in? I changed my mind. I do hate this movie. Give it two negative movies.
Ra's al Ghul comes along and gives Bruce Wayne actual, factual information. It's
true information. It's connecting information.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
No, that really bugged me. It's like, here's some plot points, but it's actually a hallucination. It's like, you got that hallucination from yourself? Sending all the police down was utterly stupid. Bane just disappeared, and I didn't know where the movie ended. I went, wait, where the fuck's Bane gone?
He got shot.
He got shot, but we've seen him take a lot more, and it just sort of got a little bit flung, and it it wasn't a death. It was just sort of but I don't actually know. By the end of it, my first reaction was, wait, where the fuck did Bane go?
I feel Christopher Nolan is actually making a new type of movie, and I would actually like to see someone develop this. We may even do it ourselves at some point. In that, I like the fact that he's started making these movies, which are really villain psychologies of villains, and not about heroes at all.
Yep.
I don't think you should do it if you've got someone like Batman as your main character.
Yeah.
But I do feel that creating a new universe just to play around with twisted villains, and virtually ignoring the heroes and having heroes be a much smaller part is something that's worth looking into.
Yeah. So that's why I like the second movie so
particularly
much.
The second movie, with the
job
ignoring of how bad the ending is.
Yeah.
Because that's another hour of discussion and me ranting.
How many awards are we giving this film?
But basically, there's definitely something there, and I would love to see that carried on and people to keep going with that.
So, Dark Knight Rises wins
Negative
the award for Best Comedy of the Year. Because I'll be honest, we were just wetting ourselves laughing.
Okay.
But it was great every time. Because we have to go how they set mysteries up. How you're supposed to set a mystery up.
They set up mystery 2 seconds before they solve them.
You're supposed to, at the start of a film, you're supposed to set up mysteries and set things up that at the end of the film and throughout the film you come back to slowly. This was really genius at going, I wonder what Bane's doing in the tunnel. Forming an army! I wonder what this is doing this! It took literally the next scene would give you the answer to any question posed. And apart from one thing that I didn't even know was a question, at the end they're like, actually this thing. But we were given information over there that said that wasn't a thing. I know, we lied. Well, that's not how you set up a mystery.
With the exception of the ending of the movie, which is told to you 17 minutes. They give you the answer before they even pose the question of what's going to happen at the end of the movie.
Well, because, 17 minutes in, you get a flash. Albert is Albert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's telling a story. Alfred, sorry, yeah. Alfred's telling a story. And I just elbowed him and went, this is the end of the movie, isn't it? And then just reeled off exactly how the movie was going down.
The thing is me confirming it wasn't a mystery because I knew it as soon as I watched it. I went, well, that's the end of the movie. What are we doing for the rest of it?
God, that was
also the fact it
awful.
takes place so much. It's quite a fair bit after the second movie that they spend the whole first part of reintroducing everything. And considering they spend so much time reintroducing things and then getting rid of things, you just felt it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Just thought, hey, we went from a world without Batman to a world. Well, I'm just going to say it, without Batman.
Yep.
What was the point of that? Seriously, why did we do that?
Yeah.
They spend forever talking about the Dent Act. If you can work out what the fuck the Dent Act is. Because seems to be a very important narrative point about questioning power. And these people got liberated because the Dent Act got enacted based on this. What the fuck is the Dent Act? We know 2 things about the Dent Act. Apparently people didn't quite get parole and female prisoners can go in male prisoners. That's it.
That's all we
I
know.
need more about this, other than something to do with parole. That's the only thing we know.
Yep.
What the fuck was, other than the fact that it was the best shot of the movie, but other than the fact it was the best shot of the movie, what the hell was that hall where they were convicting people in?
A really cool shot. That's all
It was
that
a really cool shot, and that was it.
Yep.
Fucking awful.
You get films where if you nitpick, they sort of fall apart a bit. This was a film where the nits were like Godzilla size rampaging around the city. Yeah, it was
just such
awful.
a movie where someone didn't understand how to edit.
It was so awful. I love annihilating it. It's great.
Okay. An honourable mention.
How many negative awards are we giving that?
Just one, because
No, not
otherwise
one.
the year will be doomed.
Well, let's give whatever film we like the most equal amount of positive awards to count that out.
Okay.
I want to give this at least 9 negative awards. It was so awful. How many can you possibly give to whatever? I know what the best film of the year is. I know. I can
I will
easily
give it
that 10.
13 negative awards.
Yes, there you go. The Dark Knight Rises gets 13 negative awards for being one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay.
That falls apart at the merest touch.
Okay.
And so many people
An
like it for
honourable
reasons I don't
mention.
understand. Yes.
To Brave
Uh-huh.
for being a Pixar movie that's watchable, and I expect more of Pixar.
Remember,
this was a Pixar movie that would have been good if it was made by anyone of the other animation teams who make half good. And
DreamWorks, for instance.
Yeah, but not Shrek good. Just
Yeah.
average.
Monsters vs. Aliens, good.
Yeah, Monsters vs. Aliens good. Maybe slightly better than that.
I
So
quite like Monsters vs. Aliens. I rewatched it over Christmas. It's got some good stuff in it.
So it's okay, but it certainly isn't one of those things where I'm going to make my kids have to watch it.
I've not seen it, and I'm not going to see it because the person who I said I really want to die in Boardwalk Empire is the lead female voice, if I remember rightly. So that just
there we
really
go.
puts me off. So
Men in
there you
Black
go.
3.
Oh, that came out. I totally forgot to see that.
Really nice, fun silliness. I really liked it.
Give it stuff.
Possibly even coming up to my favourite of the Men in Black movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to see that now. Why don't you get that on Blu-ray?
Because I'm going to get round to it.
Oh.
I was running low on funds, and we needed to watch the movies that we hadn't watched.
Yeah, I've got a few to do with those.
There's one character in particular who can see
Spoilers!
loads of parallel universes, and so constantly goes, this is fine, so long as this isn't the universe in which. And that joke never gets old.
Well, it does
so
now.
I
You've
really
ruined
loved it.
it. All right, I haven't seen it. I'm going to watch that. Want to give it a more mention, an award, or what?
It definitely deserves an honourable mention. I think it deserves an award. But
Best comeback of film.
yeah, it was. It really was. This was a movie where you got a third part and you went, yeah, no, that did it perfectly. Strangely, there's no Tommy Lee Jones in, but the guy who plays him does a
I
perfect
thought
job
it was
of
in the start,
replicating.
at least.
Well, he is, but for like 10 seconds.
Oh,
it's
okay.
nothing.
Oh, okay. That's sad. Fair character.
But they all go back in time. Oh, but it's also beautiful things like they go back to the 60s, but then all of the aliens are like 60s special effects rather than modern day special effects, which is just gorgeous. So yeah, there's so many great things. Yeah, I'm going to give it an award.
Cool.
I don't know, best sci-fi,
Best Men in Black film.
best Men in Black film.
Cool.
Okay,
What else we got?
well we've got the Avengers and Spider-Man.
No, we're not. Wait, there's one more film. What's the one we saw?
So we'll start off with the Avengers,
I'm trying
and
to see on your pile of films. I saw there was something else that was.
there was
you bought on
something else that
Blu-ray.
you're going to put on the
No,
end.
but I saw something else we bought or saw.
There was nothing that you saw. I did buy another film about the rock and roll
Oh,
musical,
yeah, that was the
which
one. That was
wasn't worthy of an honourable mention.
Okay, never mind.
So, the Avengers. I
something
want to
else.
give it a dishonourable mention.
I want to give it an award.
It ruined so much. It was... As jokes, I like it, okay? It's fine for jokes. It was a
Julie
very
God.
funny movie. I cannot deny that as comedy goes... In fact, if you're going to try and give it an award straight as a comedy and with nothing else, I might even let it slide
I'm okay
in.
with that. I enjoyed it as a.
I
as
really
an
felt
action
that
comedy.
the action was lacking. I mean, there's other than jumping out the window, and I won't say any more than that.
What, Tony Stark?
Yeah.
He was flung. Let's
Okay.
put it that way.
Other
He
than
was
being
flung
flung
out of the window.
the window, which was amazing.
That was fantastic.
Everything else in the movie, I'm just there going, bored. And then plot-wise, it really bugged me because it's like,
Okay.
oh, there's this awful thing that's going to come, but apparently a girl firing normal handguns can kill these aliens pretty easily. I don't think they were that much of a threat. And then there's supposed to be this team, and sort of, they're supposed to have these sort of tactics. Worst tactics ever. You're there going, okay, so we've got a bottleneck. A whole army is coming for a very small hole. What should we do? I know. We'd better solve the bottleneck. Oh, no, you seem to be fighting with people. That is the worst tactical ever. The worst tactics ever. Well, at least you've got your scientists working on the main problem of how do we shut this down. No, we have decided to send the hot girl with no special powers over there. Now, she's a useful member of the team, but not when we get into mass fighting.
Yep.
She's useful for tactical
For
reasons.
one who scale that building,
So
generally it's not
her
like she
job,
really do.
her job is to do that. So what about Bruce Banner, the genius scientist when it comes to radiation? No, we decided to make him into a giant fighting machine who miraculously can now half control his powers.
He could do that at the end of the film, the end of the Hulk film.
Okay. So
Apparently, I haven't seen it.
we're sort of there going, yeah. Okay, so we've decided to use him as a weapon rather than as a scientist, even though we've clearly said that the scientist would be a better thing here. Good thing this isn't a film made for geeks. Okay, what about
It's
Tony
made for
Stark? He's a
nerds.
super genius. He's a super genius, so
All
we've
you're-
got
all
him
you're claiming
as
here is-
far away from the action as possible.
All you're claiming here is that Captain America is an awful leader, and I agree with that. All of his
The thing
tactics
is
were awful.
Thor and Captain America both surprised me by being actually rather good movies.
Yeah.
And Iron Man is a very good movie, which has started to stop surprising me
Yep.
at being very good, but it is very good. And so even though on paper I don't care about any of these because I've never been into any of their comics, I've started to care a lot about these characters. So then when they just ruin them all by putting them all in the same universe, it just destroys my soul.
You see,
I hate
I came
crossovers.
into it from a different angle of I've only seen the Iron Man films. And so for me, this was essentially Iron Man 2.5. And it was great. It was a great Iron Man film. It was to be perfectly honest, it was the funniest film
wasn't
I've seen.
even-
And any award I was going to give it the comedy award. That was how I was going to get around to you today. I was
Fine,
going
it
to
can
go.
have the comedy
I was getting
award.
comedy award because it was so damn funny. It basically went, this is going to be an incredibly silly popcorn flick, and it was an incredibly silly popcorn flick. It hit what it was trying to do. The next one's going to go slightly darker, deeper into the characters, so it'll be quite interesting. That's something that we'll see if they can actually pull off with the amount of superheroes they have. But for a good stupid popcorn film where you kind of just a big bowl outside the door and you just scoop your brain into it before you go, it was great fun.
I never scoop my brain out before
I will
go
say
and
this,
see a
it
movie.
wasn't a good film. It was a fun film. It was really enjoyable. In the same way that...
See, because for me, all of the action really fell flat. I never really got to that point where I went, oh, that was a really great action scene.
Well, from the film we're going to give the best thing, or the action, well, yes, is awful.
So,
Carry on with the next film.
so yeah, I just felt that the action wasn't
Best
quite
comedy. It can win an award for best comedy. I'm okay with that.
We'll give
because
it the
it's
award
hilarious.
for best comedy.
Puny God.
Spider-Man is our final movie to talk about this year.
It can't. I'm not giving it an award.
This doesn't have... The thing is that part of me wants to say this was the best superhero movie, only it's the exact opposite. There is no superness whatsoever. This is character at the expense of action, whereas the other one was action at the expense of character.
It was like the exact opposite of
This
Video
was-
Game High School.
Yeah.
You didn't watch it for the explosion action bits. You watched it for the fun high school dramas.
Yeah.
It was
I really like
genuinely-
it. I definitely think it's the best performance we've had.
I went
this
into
year.
it instantly hating it before I'd seen it because I really liked the first Spider-Man
I
trilogy.
hate the original Spider-Man trilogy.
I love the original Spider-Man trilogy. so
Mostly because there's no character whatsoever. And this is the exact
it is the
opposite
exact opposite of it.
of the last Spider-Man trilogy.
Any time he put his suit on, I would go, "Oh, don't do this. Go back to talking. You're really good at doing
In their
characters and
defense,
stuff."
he does spend most of his time without his mask.
Every time he did that, 6 times in the film, he's got his thing on. He takes
is
his mask off.
constant.
What is his secret identity now? He should scratch his face.
Spider-Man
off a bit,
is his
just-
secret identity.
Yes, face.
Peter Parker, everyone knows
Everyone
that.
knows Peter Parker was also Spider-Man. That's the
It
secret
is
bit.
amazing for performance, very funny,
It was
in
very
a
funny.
different,
It was
but
very
in a very different
charming way. In a very
It
sort
is-
of that
yeah.
sort of very charming. You can watch it.
This felt like the most authentic geeky dates I've or nerd dating, as in it's just sort of people sort of not quite knowing what the fuck to say, and just sort of they're going So and you're there going, I kind of feel that whoever wrote the script really got off well because the script must be like, well, yeah. No, I was thinking maybe, well, I mean, yeah, sure, certainly. But I know that sounds like an awful script, but the performance
incredibly
and
well
the
performed.
directing and the whole of the rest of the movie was
Best
just
Stan Lee cameo.
so a best Stan Lee
By a long
cameo.
way. Spoiler warning. Not going
But
to tell you
bearing
about
in
that.
mind, I loved that. For a while, I would have given that award
The
to
Avengers.
the Avengers, and then straight in. No, there were so many great things about Spider-Man.
only
That was my
downside-
film of the year.
The only downside with
my film of the year.
Spider-Man was the other bit of the plot with the lizard. It just didn't go anywhere. It just didn't feel like
Yeah.
it went anywhere. It was just sort of
I also felt they
a
did
thing that
a
was
reasonable
there.
job.
And it's not your best film of the year. The next film I'm going to mention is your film of the year.
Well, there is, but you're really hamming up the fact that it's going to exist. So now no one will be surprised. But I mean, of the films that came out in this year, I do feel that this was the movie that I came out enjoying the most.
Okay. Mine was Avengers. Except for the film I'm going to mention.
Go on then.
The best film of 2012.
This is because I made Dan watch my favourite Christmas movie.
I'd
'cause
never
he'd
seen this
it.
before. So this is my favourite film of 2012. Die Hard!
Okay, now, I had a thought when Dan pretty much told me that this was what he was going to do.
Yes.
And so I had a look at what year Die Hard came out. It was 1988, which is quite important because it's the same year I was born.
Yeah.
These are the movies that came out in 1988.
Uh-huh.
Scrooged, another great Christmas movie.
Yep.
Baron Munchausen, A Fish Called Wanda, Big, Beetlejuice, Willow, The Land Before Time, Akira, My Neighbor Toro. I can't read English. It's Japanese. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? And even if I'm giving it negative awards that year for Twins, and I'm not sure, I know Rain Man's got a lot of fans. I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we could give the 12 awards that we gave negative awards to in the other one
To
back
1988.
to 1988 movies, because that was a good
That was
year
an
for film.
amazing year for film.
And because of that, I don't think any films this year will deserve a single award, because that is what a year of good films looks like. I thought that maybe this was just, me saying, films these days aren't as good as old films.
Not.
But that really proved it, and it was because, and I only chose 1988, not because it was a good year in movies, but because Die Hard was the movie that Dan wanted,
Yep.
and I just went through what else came out that year, and
You
I
came
didn't
out that
search
year.
long,
It's a pretty damn good year.
and that was a set of films where I was there going, no, nothing deserves to be on that list. Nothing we have deserves to be on that
So
list.
does that mean that we can give an award to 1988 for being the best
We
year
are
of
giving-
2012
We are giving the Film of the Year award
to
to
1988?
1988.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what I didn't tell you earlier.
Okay, you didn't.
So,
I
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
1988 is winning our Film of the Year award for 2012.
Die Hard's amazing.
Die Hard
Seriously, Die Hard is the best action film. If
absolutely
you've never seen Die Hard, go and
fantastic.
see Die Hard.
And so many of those other things, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is brilliant.
Zemeckis, isn't
Big
it?
is fantastic.
Isn't Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Zemeckis, yeah. It's got that sort of obscure... That film used to creep me out as a kid,
Yeah.
but I do love it, so...
Big is fantastic. It really was a...
I'm reading your list.
Akira was a completely...
Beetlejuice.
Life-changing... I mean, The Matrix was based on it, which is one of my favourite movies, and was a really big anime. Pretty much it had to...
Great year.
I
I want another year like that. Dear film industry. Although,
I really like the fact that if you like moody anime, Akira is probably the best movie ever. And if you like cutesy anime, My Neighbor Totoro is probably one of the biggest movies. So you are there going, no matter what anime you like, that was a good year for you. I'm just there going, there's no way you can look at that list and then try and put the Avengers or the Amazing Spider-Man in that list and not get laughed out the room. It's just they almost deserve negative awards when
Just
compared
existing.
to that list. It's just so yeah.
1988.
I feel that is
What
the
a
correct
year.
call.
I agree. 1988 wins the best film.
I will go on to say that I'm a bit more optimistic for next year because most
Some good stuff.
if not all of my favourite writers and directors, I've got movies coming out. As we said, Cloud Atlas, which is by the Wachowskis. I got it right that
Well
time. who made The Matrix, who are some of my favourite
And
directors.
Speed Racer, dear God.
Um,
If you have a Blu-ray player, buy Speed Racer.
so
Just saying.
they've
Dear
got
God,
a movie
you'll go
that
blind.
they've got a movie that does look like it's going to be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking. Wreck-It Ralph looks like it's going to be the Who Framed Roger Rabbit of our generation. We've got. I didn't write the list for this one, so
Star
this
Trek
is going to be
2.
new Star Trek coming out. We've got the new. We've got
Iron Man. Is there a new Iron Man? It's going to be a new Iron Man.
might be a new Iron Man.
Iron
Yeah,
Man
new
3
Iron
should be
Man.
coming out.
So that looks good. I was going more with Baz Luhrmann's bringing out his movie.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. I'll bring it up on the text. No, I won't. I'll forget.
Oh, I haven't done that. Sorry.
But yeah, new
Remember
Baz
something.
Luhrmann, new Edgar Wright movies coming out. Sci-fi Edgar Wright with the Shaun of the Dead team
Oh, the at World's End.
at World's End.
Yes.
Who else have we got? Literally everyone has got something really great coming out. It really is a year where you go through and go, oh, that looks great. Oh, that looks pretty good. Oh, Shia Knight has got a movie coming out as well.
Shyamalan.
Yes.
Yeah, his movies haven't been great.
I like
his
some of his movies.
Yeah, but his if you
I'm about to make you watch my favourite one of
if
his
you
movies.
plot his movies, their scores on like Rotten Tomatoes or something, his next movie is going to get a negative value. That's where the plot's trending to.
Well, I don't know because we've seen it because it's with the Jaden and Will Smith, and it actually looked quite good.
I'm going to guess the
stuff I
twist
saw.
of that now. I'm guessing the dad is dead and the kid is just hearing him in his head.
Okay.
That's the because he's always got a twist at the end. That's what he
Yeah.
does. So I'm guessing that's the twist. If that happens, called it.
But even so, yeah. I know we've really bitched on
I know,
this year
that's
for
not a
films.
spoiler because I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't come and shout at me, but yeah.
I was just saying, we're ending on 2012 just not being worthy on films. And I
kind of
just
a
want to
write-off.
say, we do believe that next year is going to be a good
better.
contender. We don't
Yeah.
think we're going to have to pull this again next year.
Yeah.
We really do think that this year was just
We've got the big things
subpar.
like Star Trek, we've got the slightly
And-
smaller things like the Edgar Wright stuff. So
Yeah, there really shouldn't be. I really do
Might be
feel everything that I love is going to be at least has a shot. So some of that must pay off.
because if not, it'll be 1988 all over
It
again.
can't all fail.
Well, we're gonna have to go for
Well, it
1988.
really does. I mean, it really
1989
does,
next.
It really does have my three favorite directors
Yep.
aesthetically
Yep.
there because you do have, as we said, the Edgar Wright,
Wachowskis.
the Wachowskis, and Baz Luhrmann. And those three guys alone should be a highlight of my year. So
Yep.
all three of them up for grabs might just mean that it's a 5-hour end of the award show while I'm fighting with myself going, but Baz Luhrmann did such great lighting, but the editing and the Edgar Wright thing and but the epic scale and connectedness and actually having plot that was probably slightly better because that's what the Wachowskis tend to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. And Wreck-It Ralph for silliness. And there's so much good stuff there. I expect this will take forever. But yeah, so that was 2012.
Wait, do I have general awards?
Oh, we have general awards.
I don't know. Do you think I want to give an award to?
You went to a few concerts. Did you want to give any of them?
Oh,
awards?
I went to one. I went to see Robbie Williams. That was amazing. Robbie Williams is amazing. Robbie Williams wins best live music.
Sure.
I
seen
thought it was something
nothing
you
of it.
don't like that I do like, and we went to see a theatre piece.
You went to go and see a theatre piece?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy radio
Oh,
series.
that
That
was
was
awful.
brilliant. That was superb.
They
Oh.
ruined my favourite joke. I can't remember how, but it was awful.
They
Whatever it was.
misworded it very slightly.
They misworded it, which they cut off the end.
Yeah,
half,
they
which
cut
was
off the last
important.
line. Yeah. I know. I'm so sorry. But
Oh,
no,
they
it was great. It was
destroyed
so.
it. And
It
it was
was
off-timed and just badly put together and was a disgrace to the memory of Douglas Adams. I thought,
I loved
really,
it.
all you're doing is copying and pasting some of the greatest script ever. How wrong can you go?
It was the
and
seventh
they could
Hitchhiker's
write
book.
they could write the text perfectly on a how much can you screw up, copy and paste.
It was. Well, no, it was actually its own unique
Bearing in
thing.
mind how much they cut out, the number of times they said, "Oh, this was a really good line. We'll use this in
the
our
wrong place."
narration, and then we'll put the original uses of it back in." Yeah, they're
Right.
going, "Okay, you've now told the same joke twice. Why did you do that? Because you've cut so much out that you could have put extra stuff in.
It was essentially a new Hitchhiker's book, is what they did, because they mushed it all together and they had the twisty bit. But it wins my heart for the Southend bit, because we were in Southend when they were talking about Southend.
I will give.
And you had the wonderful moment of, we're in Southend. He goes, "Hey, I'm so glad you said that. Why? We got a laugh." So good. And the other bit was the vending machine dispenser, which kept going wrong. Oh, and he did some properly funny, it was proper slapstick moment. And I'm a big slapstick fan.
I do know that you're a big slapstick fan, but it was Hitchhikers. It's not supposed to be slapstick. This is the same problem. This is the same problem I had with Avengers. It's supposed to be a movie about superheroes and maintain some integrity, and it didn't, and that's what annoyed me about it. But 10 times more so with Hitchhikers, because
I thought it was really good.
It was
liked
awful. It deserves a negative award.
No, it deserves a positive award.
It deserves a negative
can get neutral.
award.
Fine, I'll give you a neutral.
Fine. So,
now we should do.
Is there anything else you want to talk about in the awards?
Yes.
Go on then.
Worst Computer of the Year award goes to my poor Sasha.
See, now, this award probably doesn't surprise people. The fact it's not going to my Alienware probably is.
Yeah, what's currently still running? Your Alienware or Sasha? Sasha's in bits in Birmingham somewhere, and your Alienware's. Although I did buy a laptop for cheaper than your Alienware that's more powerful than your Alienware.
I still can't work out how you did
I don't know how I did that.
Because
I was going
mine was pretty cheap.
It looked like it was a pricing error for a
reasonable
second.
price.
Because I've looked at it again now, and it's way more expensive. But it looked like, because I sort of was flicking through laptops on Amazon, and it's one of them was like really cheap. I was like, that can't be that cheap. I'm going to buy it just in case that can be that cheap. And then when I went back to it, it was back up to its normal price. So it's a really, really powerful laptop for really, really cheap. I'm so chuffed.
Apart from the fact you can't get your graphics boards to talk to each other.
No, that works now. That works fine.
Oh, you did?
With a splitter, I can get it across all three
I
screens.
remembered something that we haven't mentioned that deserves several negative awards.
What?
This has not been a good year. Windows 8.
No, right, seriously, let's talk Windows 8. I think that...
We'll do a full review of this later.
Yeah, I'm making a whole video on Windows 8. Windows 8 is the Incredible Hulk. I've said this before. Windows 8 is the Incredible Hulk. Windows 8 is both Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk mashed into one thing. Because on one thing you have Bruce Banner, you have just the regular desktop side, the side the side that's very smart. It can do anything you want it to do. It does it quickly. It's very intelligent. It's a nice thing. You're used to it. It's great. It's fine. And then you have the bright green, everything is big, can't do very much, side that just appears every now and then when you're least expecting it. And it just always makes you angry, which is kind of like an inverse Hulk, but it doesn't matter. It's just... It makes me want to smash things up. I actually have removed it from my laptop. I have burnt every single bit of Windows 8. All those faffy bits. The ribbon. The ribbon is the worst thing in the world. It's just poor. Why would you have two UIs? That's horrible. It's like the new PlayStation Store, which is also a failure of horrible design. Because I've recently...
Let's make it run 10 times slower and you not be able to search for things
But now you get big
way.
pictures. Because I've been using the Xbox. I got an Xbox this year. But the Xbox Store is fantastic. You just
there are bits I like about it and bits I don't like about it.
It feels so much more streamlined.
See, here's the thing, right? I think
beautiful.
I think with the Xbox Live Arcade, I feel the front screens are useless.
Oh, entirely.
The front screens, and this is one of the cases where it's the same sort of dual thing that Microsoft that you were saying about Windows 8, and that it's got a really big I'm in your face. The bright side is it's a lot easier just to get to the back section.
Just search.
And then you get into the search and the let's look at all of the games by time, a very useful thing.
So beautiful.
And all of the games are by alphabetical order.
I've never had to wait for it to load either, which is
into
great.
the back sections of it, it's really nice, but the front stuff I all hate.
It is sort of that. It's very Windows. It's the blocks and it's sort of it's just
and
adverts.
I feel the PlayStation's gone with the sort of more and more of the new
PlayStation's
stuff.
gone for whatever the fuck.
Let's just take the worst of Xbox and then make it 10 times longer to load.
It is just abysmal.
Yeah.
For computing design, we've not had a lot of interesting... we've had a few interesting things.
Did you want to hand out some negative awards for these things?
Oh, Windows 8 just deserves an infinite negative award.
Okay.
Because it is the worst thing to happen to Windows.
This year will be infinitely negative, though.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, we've given all our awards to 1988, so...
But they all balanced out with Batman Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's why I counted up during Dark Knight.
Yep. Okay. Well, okay, not infinite now. Just minus 9.99999 recurring, so minus 10.
Okay. This is a bad year.
Well, let's give it minus 8 because fuck you.
Yes, -8 sounds reasonable.
This UI. I don't understand why they would have two UIs in one thing. It just makes no sense to have two ways of doing something. They're entirely different, and you can't get full functionality in either. So you have to use both. I understand that they're sort of training people up to sort of go full force on this way, but if Windows 9 goes in this sort of way again, that's the end of Microsoft. That is where they die.
The thing is that I think Microsoft does a fair amount of trying to make things for the public rather than specialists, and I think we really have started to see...
haven't bought it. PC sales are massively down.
I think we've started to see this sort of mixture between the people who are starting to use desktop computers, and particularly high-end desktop users, are starting to become a niche, and I feel that everyone else is going towards tablets, ultrabooks, or laptops at the biggest. So I feel that Windows is trying to follow that path, which is just really making Linux stronger.
You've just said that desktop users are sort of the people who are hanging around more than anything, and everybody's budging over that. The other people who are budging over can use that sort of faff if they want. Yeah, the desktop people are the people who should be using that sort of thing.
This is my comment, that our question is, what's Microsoft doing? Microsoft's following its bigger base rather than the core base, but the bigger base is now fighting with Android, and because it's trying to make something that's both useful for phones, tablets, and half computers. And
it's just using it is just
the thing is that you're saying most of it. The thing is you're saying Windows 9 is going to fail, and I'm saying
going this way.
And I'm saying Windows 9 won't be released on PCs.
Yeah,
I'm saying Windows 9
Windows 8
will not be compatible with PCs. It will only be compatible with tablets. Windows 8 should have just been
that side of things. Or at least, there's no option to toggle it off. You have to physically go in there and bug about it and install stuff.
That's most of their mistakes. You can't turn it off.
It's just, but they always say, everybody goes, oh, but it's faster. It's not when I've installed 20 programs to turn every sodding bit of it off. It really loses its kick there.
I mean, I have to be honest, I don't like 7 that much.
I think
7 is great under the bonnet, but
under the bonnet
is just
But that's
awful.
the thing. Who has ever bought an Office product going, a Microsoft product, sorry, going, this is a thing I'm going to use. It's not a thing you use, it's a thing you need. It's the foundations, and then you build your computer on top of it, all your programs and stuff like that. You shouldn't use Windows, ever. Windows should just be a thing you absentmindedly just go through. It's just a thing that's there controlling all your programs. It shouldn't be a thing you ever have to interact with.
I only use Windows at 2 times, and it's the 2 things that I feel that Windows 7 does wrong. One is being able to organize what's open at the time on the start bar.
Yep, well, I like that.
And I feel that they screw that up on 7, and I feel the way that you interact with files, because organizing files I feel should be a Windows system.
Yeah.
And they fuck that up too. I will do a much bigger video attacking Windows 7 some other time.
I like Windows 7 because it sort of went higher up and also lower down at the same time, but in quite nice ways.
I got annoyed because they screwed up the user interface, which they got right on XP. They got right on 95. I feel
98. 95 was a bit buggy, and 98 was where it sort of went perfect. I've used every Windows since like 3.1.
I mean, I wasn't really talking about smoothness. I was just talking about
no, but usability is what I was sort of using. 98 is where they really nailed what they wanted. XP is where they perfected it, and 7 is where they went in a slightly interesting way that is genuinely faster to use. But I don't know what they've done with 8 because I don't know who it's for anymore. And you know, the best thing is they don't know who the fuck it's for anymore. They're just going, oh, we're going to please everybody. Can we turn this off? No. Well, you haven't pleased this whole section of people. And this whole section of people don't understand what that is. It's like because I got my mum to do it. I got my mum to play Windows 8. I was like, load up a game. And
I tell you who made Windows 8. Marketing.
I
reckon the marketing team said, apparently what's in is tablets. But we want to make something that's accessible to everyone else. Well, can we just turn these bits off? No, if you turn those bits off, then people will just turn it off and no one will see that bit. And you need everyone to see this. I think you're just going to piss people off. No, that couldn't possibly happen.
Yeah, it's awful. It is a sin, and it's kind of okay once you've burnt everything off it. I like the new task manager. I really hate the fact that your internet access is now an app that you have to launch separately, and it launches separately. I hate this. It's Windows. The thing is called Windows. Why can you only have one window? It's window. That's what the new bit is. It's window and Windows.
Yeah,
That's
this isn't Windows 8. This is
window
App Selector 1.
That's all it is. It's just, I mean, you can sort of space them out and stuff, but they don't name the apps. That's what really pissed me off, is that you've got all these apps all showing you information, but it doesn't say what the app is. There's so much shit on it. It's just, they're just trying to make money is the thing out of it. That's all it is. It's a big
Linux.
thing. It's all, we fucking might. By the end of this year. Let's find out, I wonder what's the next year holds for gaming and PCs and things, because... I mean, I love the fact that everybody's calling 2013 the year of the micro console, and there's me with my new computer going, ha no! Yeah, they're not going to make any games for me. Armor 3, that's going to be fun, because I'm actually going to be able to run that at full spec.
I really like the way, because I like the experimentation that computers are going with, so I like playing with that, but I like playing with it more than I like using it.
Yeah.
It's like, because I love the idea of wearable computers and would love to see how that's going, but it's more one of those ones where I'd much rather create these systems.
They're more
certainly
toys,
tablets I don't like.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm aware that we're specialists. I'm aware that we're people who actually use computers
professionally,
fully, as opposed to someone who
I
basically
use computers way more fully than you do.
Yeah, but
I delve in, and you still stay a little higher than I go right.
My point is that both of us can get to a point where a faster computer makes things run faster.
Yeah.
Rather than someone who's using a word processor, where quite frankly a computer from 10 years ago would run at exactly the same speed as their computer.
The sort of fuckheads who buy Macs and just use Facebook. There's the sort of people that I just hate. And they go, you've got a supercomputer sort of sitting on your lap that costs £3,000. Oh, but I want to poke my friends.
Not only that, but it looks pretty.
Slap you in the face. Anybody who's ever built a computer based on how pretty it looks.
Pretty.
No, I don't like white and... no, I like wires and shit.
I
like Serenity.
I like both of those.
I don't like the Enterprise. That's how it goes.
I do like, old classic TARDIS, which is clearly where Steve Jobs got his inspiration from.
I like
for the record, Doctor Who did make Apple, but then they screwed it all up.
Yep.
Time Lords made Apple. Boring Time Lords with no fun.
Yep. Whereas Windows 7 is the 11th
The thing is I do like that, but then the 11th Doctor that's what I really want. Everything's got buttons and bits that spin and extra.
And it's all useful, and you all get how to use it, and you're all sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Computing is going in interesting ways. Gabe Newell is taking gaming towards Linux.
I think it's all specialising and branching off.
It is. It's going weird. It's going to be a fun watch.
It's going to be interesting.
At least I've still got Sasha and Windows 7.
There'll be a good documentary made about this when they can summarise it very quickly.
Yeah,
but for the moment, that's not a...
In 10 years' time, when they refer to 2013, the year computers died. Ooh, that's going to be sort of...
Well, I think they'll start it off from when PCs hit their peak, probably in 2005 or so.
Well, every year PC sales have been going up, apart from this year, where Windows 8 kicked them off at the end. God, Windows 8 was a fiasco. I don't know why they kept doing it. At some point, when someone was showing this, going, look at this, and pretty much everyone who saw it went, that's awful. I mean, even the person who runs Microsoft said, oh, you got to use it for about 2 weeks before you sort of get used to it. Well, no, I don't want to use something for 2 weeks before I get used to it. That's just wrong. Why would I put myself a disk? I mean, I use my computer constantly. Oh, fucking hell, Windows 8.
Do you think that if you're a business, you can ask for 2 weeks' worth of profits from Microsoft?
Well, the thing is...
if they pay for the software.
I was reading loads of interviews with business owners of, would you ever go up to Windows 8? And they're all going, we're still on XP. Windows XP does everything. Why the hell would we go up? If they ever upgrade, they're going to upgrade to 7. And then they'll go up to whatever happens next. But I don't see businesses going to Windows 8 because it's too fluffy, fruity. You can't deactivate the Microsoft Store, which means that or if you can deactivate Microsoft Store, the start menu is useless. So the start menu is useless, and you can't turn it off without Microsoft being shouting at you.
Oh, and you have to be connected to the internet to sign in.
Let's not talk about that. I think you can actually be off the internet. No, I think you can be off the internet and still log in, but there is no way I have not found a way yet of turning off you have to log in with your password account. Also, they fused MSN contacts with Skype contacts, and I had to get rid of a lot of people very quickly. I was like, no, what is this? These were my friends when I was 7. Go away.
Yeah. So if you briefly saw Dan on your network and disappear, this is him saying, fuck you.
Shut up. Maybe a little bit. Let's end this now. It's just turning into
That
a
was
fuck,
the
I
year
hate
that
this
was
rant.
2012.
Worst year for technology you've had in
It was
ages.
a
Worst
terrible year for technology,
films.
bad year for films.
Great year for games.
We liked games,
And
but
TV
none of
was
the
okay.
AAA games really got anywhere either.
Far Cry
Or
3.
Definitely nothing full priced.
Far Cry 3.
Yeah,
Spec
one
Ops: The
game
Line.
doesn't make it great.
Dishonored.
Dishonored got nothing.
I wanted to give it a dishonorable award just for the name.
Great, done.
No! No!
So overall, indie games did well. Or small budget. You have objections with me calling some of those companies indie.
Yeah, Journey is not an indie game.
But
Considering
small.
Sony paid for the damn thing.
Well, I don't know about Mark of the Ninja, but Faster Than Light is certainly indie.
Yep.
Thomas is
Alone
Alone
was
is
one-
definitely indie. I gave.
Intrusion 2, we didn't give anything to. That was awesome.
We can give that an award.
That can have an award for
But-
best one-man game made by a single guy
Most
over
of
3
our
years.
most of our games were one-man games, I think.
Well, this was the best one. Shut
No,
up!
I mean ones that outdid it.
Let's stop. Let's end the award because we just keep thinking of things.
Best fun game. Best boss games. There were good
yeah,
boss
damn
fights.
right. Best final boss.
best
I've ever
final boss.
seen. God, that was amazing.
And that was 2012. Well, we can get out now.
Yay!
Goodbye.
Goodbye! We're going back to 1988, where films were good and the women were free.
And I was only just born.
I can feel my arm.
You
flap
weren't even
wiggling.
born then.
I can feel my arm flap wiggling.
Bye.
What is this?
God, that's done.
Bring on the lesbians!